Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Horizen Weekly Insider number 85. Today is April 26, 2021. Thanks for joining us live here on Discord and YouTube. And please be aware that this call is being recorded for you to check out later at our Horizen podcast. Also, please remember to be asking your questions in Menti while this call is happening so we can answer them at the end. Without further ado, I'll pass the word now to Alberto to provide us with the engineering updates. Alberto, please, welcome.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, let's start as usual with Zendoo, where we started the final code review of the proof verifier integration. And in particular, we looked at the mempool processing part. And we saw that there was the need of some change in the first iteration of the code review, and so these changes are going to be applied in the next few days. In parallel, also on the Zendoo part, the first level of code review of the changes to the miner processing were performed, and then development of the support for multiple proving system is approaching the end. This last component in particular is scheduled to finish today, and right after it will be subject to the first level of code review. And last but not least for Zendoo, also the changes requested for the system for banning node for seize, sidechain withdrawal, and certificate invalid proofs, and also the forward transfer, the possibility of withdrawing forward transfer after a sidechain seized happened on the last valid epoch were performed. So these items are now ready also for final code review. Okay, switching to the proving system. Also there, we were able to continue with code reviews. I mean, in these last phases, as you can imagine, we are let's say mostly focused on this part because we are approaching the end, and so also on the proving system side. So the first level of code review of the final Marlin proof and circuit structure was completed, so now it's ready for the final review. And in parallel, we also proceeded with the final code review of the D-log segmentation sponge, and this is currently ongoing and is expected to be finished in the next few days. In parallel, we also kept working on the proof verifier, where we are almost at the end with the development. Okay, switching on the SDK. Last week, we worked on some more improvements, and I mentioned this in the last Weekly Insider last week. And I mean, all these improvements and fixes were completed, and so the first level code review process is now taking place. And moreover, we were able to also approve and merge a couple of pull requests on the Zendoo sidechain cryptolib side, because we are also, let me say, aligning the Zendoo sidechain cryptolib to the changes we did also on the Changelly side, so we had to also work on this part. Okay, finally, as mentioned last week, we were sponsored at the Zero Knowledge Proof event, which is still ongoing in reality. And this is the second week of the event, and we have also took part to the Zero Knowledge Job Fair, an event let's say within the other event, as we were among the few companies that were selected to have an opportunity of meeting candidates active in the zero knowledge space. So probably this is all for today. Back to you, Angie. Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto. Let's continue with Chronic for the infra updates.
Yes, happy Monday, everyone. So today I can announce that single address staking is now available for secure nodes. The feature is generally available on the secure node tracking servers, and we've released a new version of Stake Tool, which is available on GitHub. And I hope this will make it easier for people that manage a lot of secure nodes. So the great benefit of single address staking is that it's a lot easier to manage many node rewards. So you can use a single address to stake multiple nodes, provided you have enough balance in that address to cover all of the nodes that you're running. And you are able to specify where your reward payments will go to. You can use up to 5 addresses and split this in a percentage to those 5 addresses. And also our partners have been looking forward to this feature. So hopefully there will be some announcements coming in the near future about this. Additionally, the tracking servers have been updated to the latest version of ZenD last week, 2.0.23. And the deprecation went without issues last week. And on Sunday, we had a small issue on the tracking system where the tracking servers, which are on OVH, couldn't talk to some nodes hosted at Hetzner. This is a problem which we had a year ago. The exact same problem happened again, where one Hetzner data center in Finland was unreachable. But this time around, I was able to reach Hetzner's head of networking, who was able to fix this problem quickly. Any exceptions caused by this were excluded because it's really not the fault of the node operators. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, Chronic. Next, we have Jonathan with the growth updates.
Good morning, everyone. So I would like to remind everyone that we are running a really awesome reimbursement for gas fees for STZen. So all you have to do is purchase some STZen. And if you hold it for 30 days, we'll reimburse up to $50 in your gas fees. So really easy to enter. The first 100 people will be reimbursed. We are not at 100 yet. So if you haven't done it yet, please do that today and get your spot in line. In addition to that, we hit a milestone over the last couple of days. We hit 100,000 Twitter followers. Which is really cool, and it got me thinking about, when I first started here a couple of years ago, I think we had around 16,000 Twitter followers, and it was kind of like staying there for a while. So it's amazing that we went from 16,000 to over 100,000 in such a short period of time, and we've seen even greater growth in non-Twitter. So if you think that's cool, we've seen multiples of that in terms of growth in our newsletter subscribers and in terms of Sphere by Horizen downloads. So yesterday we surpassed 175,000 downloads of Sphere by Horizen, which is amazing because we didn't launch it that long ago. And obviously we started from zero. So to go from 0 to 175,000 is really amazing. I think a lot of companies would be really jealous of those numbers. And the really cool part is the trend is continuing to accelerate up. It's not staying stagnant. And I think all of this is a testament to consistent, good quality work done by the team. And that consistency and quality builds trust with the outside world. And then people are much more likely to engage with the community. And that's it for me. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next, we have Vano for the BD and operations updates.
Hey, everyone. Happy Monday. So during last week, Zen integration at L-Bank has been finalized. Both deposits and withdrawals as well as trading is live now. And as a reminder, L-Bank is a top 100 exchange by volume. It is very popular mainly in Asian region. So we are very happy to welcome them in our ecosystem. And Rob has just joined us from an interesting joint AMA with them as well. The link is above. Another great news we have is that a long-time supporter of us, ChangeNow, which is primarily a multi-coin exchange, added fiat support to their widget and enabled US dollar and euro pairs for Zen. It is one of the easiest ways to get Zen, and KYC is pretty simple as well. It's also possible for anyone to integrate Change Now widget in their website. Also, during last week, Angie and I sent our final notifications to partners regarding Zendy upgrade, and it's great that all of our major partners and almost everyone upgraded successfully already. That's all from me, and I pass it to Kaspers now.
Thanks, Vano. Hi, everyone. So the BD team is continuing working on partnerships. We have calls with 4 projects this week lined up to discuss new sidechain partnership opportunities, even though we are not actively reaching out to new projects and kind of doing active campaigns on that. But these really come from already like existing relationships we have built. And something I want to highlight, we are getting relatively more calls and interest nowadays from projects and companies that don't necessarily have dealt with crypto or blockchain before, but have interesting use cases in their minds that they would like to develop with us. And then these use cases also involve like tracking and interacting with real world assets, which is really cool and something I've noticed and wanted to share with you. Apart from that, really seems like we're getting more popular in Asia. So we're hearing more interest from crypto players there who want to participate in our ecosystem and Zen. So we are having some interesting discussions that may result in additional institutional support for our ecosystem, which is amazing. On the staked Zen front, things are moving slowly but surely. We are having our weekly calls with our partner Stayhound, sync on DeFi, and work on existing opportunities. So they are currently expanding their team and resources, and that should provide even more support from their side to get staked tokens more mainstream, service relationships and such. Lastly, if you're looking to participate in STZen, now might be a good time as Ethereum gas prices have come down quite a bit. And also you can take use of the fee reimbursement campaign Johnson mentioned. That's it from my side. Thank you, and back to you, Angie.
Thank you, guys. Next, we have Lucy for the marketing updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So, actually, just right before this call, Vano just also mentioned Rob did a live AMA with Lbank, the exchange that recently listed Zen. So in the AMA, there were a lot of questions about Zendu and then our recent project development. And then the AMA was in both English and Chinese, so that's really interesting. And it's live streamed on YouTube, so take a watch if you missed it. And then the AMA transcript will also be published on Lbank's blog later on. And Jonathan mentioned that last week our Twitter reached 100,000 follower milestone, and I really wanted to take this opportunity to welcome all the new people who joined the Horizen community and thank all the existing and long-time community members for continuously, supporting and contributing to the ecosystem. And for that, we are hosting a community giveaway to celebrate this milestone with you. We are giving away $500 in Zen and Horizen swag, the coolest one in the space. And then the end date for this giveaway is May the 15th. So you can find the giveaway on our social media. And speaking of giveaways, we have a couple other giveaways for STZen holders, users. As Jonathan also mentioned, the gas reimbursement promotion is still ongoing. We are reimbursing up to $50 in gas fee per person for the first 100 qualified STZen holders. And you really only need to get a minimum of one STZen. And if you act fast, you can get your gas fee reimbursed. And the it's only available to the first 100 STZen holders who enter the promotion. So the promotion is still going. So act fast. And then aside from that, there's also the $2,500 giveaway for STZen holder as well. It's also active still. And at the end of the day, the end date is May the 8th, which is next week. If you enter now, you can still be one of the 25 winners to win $100. And Vano mentioned we saw a large increased level of amount of activities coming from our communities in Asia. So I really like to give a shout out to our Chinese community manager Guan Ying and our Korean rep Jung Hoon and all the community volunteers who are working with them to help grow and engage with the community and help that to drive the growth. And then on top of that, we are expanding our marketing effort and our overall effort in the Asia market, in Chinese market, to promote Zen and then to also help grow our community there as well. So we should expect to see even more growth coming from that side of the world. And there have been a lot of activities on our ambassador program. Erica, would you give us the latest updates, please?
Hey everyone. So I have a quick update for you today. So last week was the first full week after our soft launch, and it went really, really well. We had a couple of minor issues that we needed to work out with automation, but it went, it's now working well. And I'm happy to say that all of those have been fixed. Last week we had 53 daily task completions, successful task completions. And the process is working out really smoothly. So I'm really excited to see that. We also added the ambassador-only tasks to HDE. So if you're one of our official ambassadors, feel free to check them out. We do have a couple for translations for our website. I would also like to welcome our newest ambassador, Zisen. Zisen is one of our new Chinese ambassadors, and I'm super excited to see all of the amazing things that he does. He's already super active in the Chinese community. So that being said, we're almost ready for our official launch. It looks like we'll be able to launch tomorrow. We just need to release the webpage for the Horizen Ambassador program. And that's my update for the week. Thanks.
Awesome. Really excited for the ambassador program launch. We are already getting a lot of activities from the community. So I think the launch will just bring even more people. So super awesome. That's it from us. Back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you, girls. Now let's welcome Rosario for Protein Engineering.
Hi, Angie. I had to pause because I just have a few minutes, but then I was going to go into the whole girl situation. But all right, so it's such an important few weeks here at Horizen, just finalizing development, launching the ambassador program. I'm just so excited about everything that's wrapping up in the next few weeks. We are still, just on a side note, we are still going through the procurement process with one of our third-party audit companies that we will be bringing on. And if you're listening to these calls week after week, you'll notice that we are running in parallel. A lot of these activities are running in parallel. So Alberto mentioned wrapping up the Proof Verifier software coming soon. That's going to be one of the critical elements for this next third-party audit, looking at that cryptographic piece. So we're doing a lot of things in tandem, and there's a lot of cross-collaboration going from that end. From a Horizen Labs perspective, I'm working closely with the marketing teams on building out the content for the audit sidechain, and this will be a collaboration between Horizen as a platform, Horizen Labs as a builder, and Celsius as the use case. So this will result in 3 different web pages, so our sites. So we'll have to just ensure that everything is, from the communication standpoint, makes sense, and that we have that cross promotion. And then from our perspective, everything's going on very, very well. So later this week, we have a technical walkthrough to help our Celsius partner install the audit sidechain node and to start testing from their end. So they still have a little work to do, writing some scripts and a mini app, but it's going all very well. So from a game chain perspective, we continue making progress. The game developer is still implementing the game into Unity, so still going through that effort. There was a lot of work on the library side that needed to be done, and that kind of paused the Unity integration. So now they're moving forward with the Unity integration. And from our perspective, we've implemented the lessons learned from the audit sidechain and implemented those onto the game chain. And all that remains is final code review and full testing from our end. So a lot of progress as well. And finally, I've been working very closely with the HR department and our new key hire that will officially start next week and join this call. And to discuss the hiring process in New York City and changes to our process to match the market and really setting us up for success. So we've also hired working with a partner that will help source candidates. And I'm extremely excited for this new build out of the Horizen Labs product team. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosario. Rolf, would you like to add any comments or updates?
I just got to say that I'm very excited for the Horizen Ambassador program also. I was looking at some of the updates and, of course, all the community members and people that are joining us from South Korea are exciting, and was reviewing a recent Twitter post about the China market. I didn't realize that there was 6 different areas of China that we got ambassadors in already. So, Erica, just you got a lot of well-wisher and support. So I'm excited that this is going forward. And I was looking at the trading pairs because so many different places, that we're adding Zen holders and community members and node holders. Sometimes they look for local trading pairs, but it seems like all the most popular trading pairs are now in USDT. And of course, last week, the big news here in the financial community was Coinbase adding USDT. So it, that makes it almost an official worldwide currency to be able to get a hold of US dollars and for trading pairs. Just very excited again about the ambassador program. Thanks.
Thank you, Rolf. And now let's welcome Rob for the final part and Q&A session.
How's my audio? I hear a little bit of a feedback on my end, but hopefully it's just for me. Is it fine? Otherwise, I'll just dive in. You could tell me it sucks and I'll stop.
It's good.
Okay, cool. All right. So I loved the statement that Jonathan made where he said consistency and quality builds trust. I mean, this, I think, exemplifies what we've done over the last 4 years and continue to do and why we are where we are today. So every day we operate, we grow this ecosystem, obviously, right? Well, maybe it's not so obvious because there are plenty of other projects where a day passes and nothing happens, or maybe they regress in some way. Not so for us. So every day that passes, we develop more software, right? We're continuing to lead tech innovation in a few really key directions where we're taking Zendu. And you're seeing this now culminate with the completion of this deliverable that's going to be available for integration testing, third-party auditing, and then community testing and so forth in the very near future. We continue to build new products with new partners. Every day we have a product team that's working with people that want to build on our ecosystem. And you've heard about a couple of them here, the Celsius chain, Game Chain, and so forth. We're adding more, right? We have another really big announcement over the coming week or two with another old school cryptocurrency partner that we're going to be announcing and building something with them. So that's more exciting news. And it just shows that we're constantly moving forward. Constantly. We're learning more every day. Every day we try to build a product for a particular client or design partner. We're learning ourselves and we're continuing to grow and improve what we're doing. We get more community members every day. You've heard about our Twitter just blowing past 100,000. Well, this is across the board, and you're seeing particular geographic explosion happening, like what Ralph mentioned on the China community. The South Korean community recently has just been exploding. We get more exchange listings, more integrations, more ways for you to get and use Zen around the world, more liquidity on our markets, more mature markets, more funds, more institutions supporting us. I mean, honestly, it's every day that passes, this project gets much stronger. all of it brings credibility and a real competitive moat. If you think about this open source world that we're in, one could cynically look at it and say, well, what competitive moat do you have? You're just writing software and then you're making it available for the world. Well, there's a lot more that goes into this. And you guys joining this call really understand that. You see everything that's going on. You see this ecosystem that we're building. And the ecosystem itself that includes all of these things that I mentioned is the competitive moat. It's what makes Horizen special. It's what makes people choose Horizen when they're making a decision of who to build with. And even that right now may not be so obvious to you because we still haven't delivered this Zendoo software and this platform that's coming, but it will very soon. And you're seeing the early rumblings of it with these really important design partners and clients that are coming to the ecosystem, and we'll continue to announce them, but it's going to accelerate fast. I promise you that. Okay, so another thing that we do is we're continuing to strengthen the ecosystem governance. We don't want to be stagnant on just how we do things. We want to constantly move forward. And even little things like you may not notice, but on the back end, we're getting directors and officers insurance for the board, for the foundation, D&O insurance. Something pretty simple, straightforward, and every board in corporate America at least has D&O insurance. Well, not so common in the crypto industry. Well, formal boards aren't even so common in the crypto industry. Now, for us to have a formal board on the foundation, we've had this for a while so we can have independence and governance, or at least start getting professional governance of the foundation, which is a key part of the ecosystem. Now we're adding something simple but really important so that over time we can continue to attract very high quality members to come and join our board and participate in the ecosystem. And speaking of that, we are actually looking at potentially adding a new board member to the foundation. And this would be someone with deep crypto experience, one of the early innovators in the crypto industry, and in particular in the colored coin space, and also a very successful entrepreneur, someone that brings just tremendous value. This would happen on the next board meeting. We've been pre-socializing with board members, but we still need to move forward if this is going to happen. But it's just, again, every day that passes, there's something important going on here. We talked last week about publishing the first Zen app. I mean, we've had this Zen app or Zen improvement proposal system in place for the last year or so. We really haven't made use of it. It was really just laying the groundwork. Now it's time to make use of it. And even with this, the Zendoo Zen app, this is not a normal Zen app because clearly we're within weeks of finishing development on the first delivery for Zendoo. So clearly we're not publishing a Zen app and then asking for feedback on are we going to build this or not, because we've already built it. Now, this is still a symbolic Zen app and a huge step in the right direction of the way this will work in the future is whenever there are major significant improvements to the protocol, these things will be formalized into a Zen app and published in advance of fund allocation, in advance of development, and we're going to have real community conversation around them. It also opens up the door for just more ideas, more innovations. What can we do as a project, as an ecosystem? Now, I'll close this out by reiterating our strategy, at least one piece of the strategy. And in particular, I received one question. I've been receiving questions recently about, are we going to change, say, the block reward? Are we going to redirect funds in a different way? We've said this before, and even, it's kind of, in a way, like market cycle contingent. Yes, the block rewards have shifted their allocation from when we first launched the project in 2017 to today, but we haven't changed it in years, and we actually don't have plans to change it. Really, depending on the market cycle, we just don't want to say we either have too little or too much funding, and we're going to be shifting it. We were very strict and conservative about not changing the block reward when it looks like all hell was breaking loose and Zen was going down to like $3, right? And we just had no resources to even continue the bare bones strategy of developing Zendoo. We actually stuck with it, really hung tight, and we had to shrink the organization and just make do with what we had. Now, conversely, when Zen's up, we're not going to just jump in there and change the macroeconomics of the system. What we're doing, so first and foremost, the foundation is doing a heck of a lot better financially, obviously, right? So the foundation has repaid its debts, and now it's actually building reserves so that we can be more resilient in the face of future crypto shocks. This is really important, right? We want to strike the right balance between, being conservative at our core with, being aggressive on the margin with our growth. Right? We have to grow. This is a super competitive industry. So we have to plow resources on the margin into this type of growth. And we need to think, how are we going to do this? What's the best way to do it? we are structuring new programs. I'll tell you what's important to me. And we've been talking about this for some time now. But again, caveat, we've only been in a good financial state for the last 3 to 4 months, right? It's not like this is an enduring thing that we're years into a comeback. So again, we want to be conservative because this is fairly new for us. But we are structuring new programs to get more funds out to the community, in particular for developers. And we've laid some foundations here, some important ones, like the Horizen Early Adopter Program that has something like 3,000 developers who pre-register to be part of our ecosystem and build when the time is right. The other is HDE, the Horizen Developer Environment that we talk about all the time. And now you see new tasks loaded in there. We're going to turbocharge this. This is basically our bounty/grant program, and we really want to use this as the main channel to subsidize and just encourage community development. Now, there are a variety of reasons for why developers would choose a particular community or another, and it's not all about money. I can promise you that. Now, money can help on the margin, and it's really important to be able to at least support people that want to build in the ecosystem, to curate the right types of opportunities and provide resources to accomplish them. But it's not going to be a panacea where all of a sudden we start plowing $1 million a month into community development, we just have an explosion. That's not necessarily going to be the case, and we want to make sure that we're actually putting resources into productive development. We don't want just people writing code for the sake of writing code and collecting a Zen payment. We want people to actually contribute meaningfully to this project. That's what HDE is all about. We're going to be ramping this up. That key hire that Rosario mentioned, that's joining our newly forming New York Product Engineering Center, is also going to be tasked with building a developer evangelism team. So basically, a few open source developers who really specialize in open source development and really to curate the opportunities. And we've been talking about this for a while. It's really important. We don't want to be developing everything in-house. We want to be curating opportunities so that we can encourage and just direct, in a way, productively, community developers to come and participate immediately. So that's what we're going to be doing as big priorities there on the developer side. The ambassador program, you just heard, we're having some, I would say, phenomenal success even pre-launch. I'm really pumped for that program to launch. And this is a big part of being able to now do other things besides development, right? Development is absolutely critical, but an ecosystem requires more than just development. And this is that more than development stuff, the other stuff that's really important of growing our ecosystem and community, developing content, and doing a whole bunch of tasks that are meaningful to really spread the word and communicate and build just this, who are we, and just getting the word out there about it. Let's see what else. One very tentative idea, and this is something that, again, tentative, I can't foot stomp the word tentative enough, is to think about a sort of VC or venture capital type of program to fund promising entrepreneurs who want to build in the ecosystem. I think this would be something really important, and other ecosystems do it. You see a model of this out there in the Algorand community with, having a little bit of memory problem here, guys. Sorry, I'm getting old. But yeah, so anyway, other communities have other VC-like entities that actually make targeted bets on these entrepreneurs building these types of things. We want to encourage that and subsidize it in some way. Now, of course, this would be more of like a VC type thing that is interesting from like a legal perspective of the community now has some sort of ownership in the types of ventures they get put forth here. This is not like a private endeavor. So it's kind of a more like a public funding program, which is different than grants. Grants could be for very specific tasks. This is more for, you have entrepreneurs that want to do some big idea or maybe some small idea, but they want to do it on Horizen, and you actually make like an ownership investment in that. So again, more TBD on that, but I think it's really important for us to consider things like that. Borderless Capital, that was the name of the fund that I was thinking about. So anyway, that's what's going on, guys. That's the big strategy. There's a lot going on, and again, consistency and quality builds trust. That's just what you're going to see more of. Every day or every week you come back to these calls, you're going to be hearing about a flurry of activity and constant progress moving forward. We don't always get it right, but we're definitely iterate, and over time we move in the right direction. I'll stop here and we can open it up to Q&A. We're a bit over time.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. So the first question is, could you announce all partnerships now so we can all get a good summer?
That's a great one. No, I cannot, unfortunately, but great question. Nice try. You're going to get some good ones in the very near future, though.
Great. The second one is, why did you decide with the New York office? This was not considered before. What happened with the Austin office?
Yeah, so it's purely idiosyncratic on this key hire that you're going to meet next week. So really, really pumped for that to make the intro. And it's the fact is we have a unique opportunity to bring on some really top tier talent in that market, and then to scale it pretty quickly. So that's the reason for it. It really wasn't a conscious decision of New York City is better than Austin or better than San Fran or anything like that. It was really just idiosyncratic based on the particular talent that wanted to join the fund.
Okay, there's a match between a couple of questions, so I'll just say them both. The first one is, did you get any news sources to publish your transactions per second?
Oh, no. Yeah, we have not, as far as I know. In fact, I think the blog for it is sitting on my desk to do a quick review on. So I think I'm the slow link on that one, guys. Apologies, but we will definitely get that news out very soon because it is really important. And I think the timing is perfect.
Okay, and the final question is, any partnership with big software companies, for example, IBM, Microsoft, or other?
So we do have some interesting conversations on the Horizen Labs side. They're not mature enough for me to really mention at this point, but I can tell you very clearly that my strategy is to extend what we're doing outside of this industry. I don't want to just build crypto for crypto and we stay myopic in this industry. There are plenty of other projects that are doing that. I think the technology that we're bringing to the market is really unique in solving a lot of problems as a platform that scales significantly, costs stay low, and you have best-in-class security. This is a recipe that I am confident will resonate with the right large software companies out there. Now, the big question is which is the right one, and this would be more of a labs thing of who do they strategically want to partner with. But my perspective is we absolutely should explore this venue to really leapfrog the distribution side. We don't want to build, hundreds of millions of users and distribution ourselves. If we can just plug in and be the blockchain service provider, again, not consultant, but actual blockchain services with infrastructure and our technology for someone that already has hundreds of millions of users and massive distribution. So that's the angle that we're taking and certainly where I want to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today in our Weekly Insider. We'll see you all next Monday for the latest Horizen updates. Have a great week. Bye-bye.